Before we get into this, I need to say something clearly. This video has nothing to do with bitterness.
No resentment, no hate, no bashing, none of that. This is personal experience. This is wisdom I paid for, and I'm sharing it because some of you are standing at the edge of a decision that can shape your life for decades. And I'll say this too. Marriage is a beautiful thing. God designed it with purpose. But a lot of pain comes from ignoring wisdom at the beginning, especially when it comes to choosing who you build with. So hear me, I'm not handing you a checklist to throw in someone's face. This is a measuring tool for you, a ruler, something you can keep in your arsenal, so you can move wiser before you commit your life. Here's a rule every man needs in 2026. Watch who you listen to, even online, because there's always something to learn, even from someone who sounds emotional, biased, or hurt. Wisdom means you don't just swallow opinions, you measure them. There's an old saying, if you buy someone's opinion, you buy their lifestyle. So I'm not forcing anything on you. I'm sharing what I learned, so you can move smarter than I did. Now let's talk about the trap that gets most men. Most men don't get hurt because they didn't want love. They get hurt because they let attraction lead the decision. And I've lived that. The first time I was young, and my desires were driving. I got caught up in looks, chemistry, the vibe, the aesthetics, and I ignored alignment. I ignored character. I ignored patterns. Later, an older man told me something that burned into my mind. If you fish in a dirty pond, you're going to catch a dirty fish. That isn't about judging anyone. It's about patterns, because it doesn't matter how beautiful she is. Where you found her matters. Her environment matters. Her circle matters. Her influences matter. And here's something I didn't realize until later, after everything was over. When I looked back with clear eyes, I noticed something that should have been a sign. None of the women in her family were married. Not her sisters, not her aunts, not her mother. Everybody was alone. Everybody was carrying their own story. And along with that, there was constant bitterness in the atmosphere. Constant, this is how men are talk. And when someone grows up in that, it becomes normal. It becomes culture. It becomes a lens. So pay attention. When you walk into someone's world, look around. What do the relationships look like? What do the marriages look like? What does respect look like? What does accountability look like? Because you also have to watch who she takes advice from and who you're taking advice from. Dating shouldn't be a hobby. If you're serious about your future, date with purpose. Date like you're evaluating a life partner, not chasing a feeling. You can connect fast if you want, but commit slow. Take your time. Ask better questions. Have the hard conversations early before you're emotionally invested. And don't lie to yourself about red flags, because red flags don't shrink after marriage. They magnify. That's why I don't encourage moving in together like it's casual. It blurs boundaries. It confuses commitment. Do it the right way. Move with structure. Move with intention. Now, the second marriage taught me a different lesson. Some people don't show you who they are up front. They study you, then perform. I went through counseling. A lot of it. One of the biggest pressure points was the blended family dynamic. There was excessive disrespect coming from the child. But the real issue was, there was no unity. And that kind of friction doesn't just create arguments. It creates stress. It wears on your spirit. I wanted to abandon everything, but people had to talk sense into me. My parents, mentors, and I realized, if there's no alignment, love turns into survival. During that season, I grew close to a neighbor. He had a blended family too, but the difference was unity. His wife was on board with him. They backed each other, so he was able to raise that child with love and structure. That's what I wanted. but that's not what I had. And here's another piece most men ignore. You have to look at her background. Unresolved trauma doesn't stay in the past. It leaks into everything. But if someone refuses to heal, they repeat patterns. That's why I'm saying this with love, not anger. Don't let desire lead. Let wisdom lead. Pay attention to whether she's willing to grow. Peace comes from alignment. This isn't a weapon. This is a tool to protect your future. If this helped you, share it. Stay sharp. Stay protected. Stay blessed.